Hi, I'm Stephen Orr. Today we're going to be making a vegetable container garden, and you may ask yourself, why am I going to go to the trouble to plant vegetables when I can just go to the store and buy them? Well, you can grow things that you can't normally get at the grocery store, and that's what I like to do. Let's start with the type of container you need. You need a large container. Don't try this in an 8-inch or 12-inch container. Go for something large. And you really do want it to be something lightweight because you may want to move it around and it gets pretty heavy with all the water and moisture in there. Fill it with soil. This one we filled with organic soil. I like to use organic materials as much as possible, especially with edibles. Your plants will do better. They'll have better flavor. Keep in mind that you don't want to overfill your soil. You want it to stay about 2 to 3 inches below the edge of the pot so that you can actually put a lot of water in there. The kinds of plants to use, it's really up to you. You can do whatever you like to eat. I like to start with things earlier in the summer and spring, like this beautiful lettuce. This is a kind of romaine. If you're like me and you forget what you planted or you're worried about forgetting what you planted, I'm not a big fan of having all these little plastic tags poking up. So what I do is I tend to bury them near the plant. This is a kale you don't find as much in the grocery store. You might find it in a farmer's market. You can see the root ball. You just want to kind of tug lightly at the roots. That lets the plant know it can start growing and it has more room. Give them about 3 or 4 inches of space in between. To add a little more texture while we're doing this kale, I'll also add some herbs. I don't over-fertilize my planters. If you over-fertilizers, the plants grow too quickly and they get a little soft, and they retain too much water and the flavor is not as intensified. So I like to go for an organic fertilizer, and what you would do is just kind of sprinkle it a few inches beneath among the plants. You can do this before you plant or after. I'm also going to plant this beautiful variegated sage, because you want to make it both a productive garden, but also something that's great to look at. This one's called a sweet sunset. It's a sweet pepper, probably more of an Italian pepper that you might grill. Some of the smaller eggplants are great to buy. The Japanese eggplants do well in pots. For tomatoes, I generally like to use cherry tomatoes or the smaller types because they tend to produce more in a pot. This one's called Mr. Stripey. If it's a vining tomato, you're just going to want to put it in now. But also, if you're just growing tomatoes, you can make an easy, put a tomato cage in. What I like to do is also just put bamboo poles. Once it's planted, you're really good to go. All you need to do is water. In the heat of summer, you might want to water every few days. Just put your fingers in if it feels dry water. You don't want the plants to start wilting. That stresses them out. And there you have it, a vegetable garden you can have right outside your doorstep.